didn't realise this was going to be so graphic, so I will be putting up trigger warnings on here. Hello there, and welcome to Jan's Views on Crime. I've been moving videos over from my main channel, which is called Jan's Views, because I cover so many different things over there, and decided to start this new channel, which is called Jan's Views on Crime. Thank you all for clicking on this video. Now, today's video is going to be an update on the Crossbow murders in Bushy that happened, was it last year now? Yeah, because we're in March now. Quite interesting. Quite an interesting update. Before we start on the actual update, I just want to remind you of the actual crime. The girls were able to contact the police at the time of the crime, it was very soon found to be the boyfriend of one of the girls that was the suspect. There was also footage of him walking from the house carrying a great big thing, which we then were to learn that it was a crossbow. We're now going to look at the sentencing of the suspect, the assailant, the killer, who was called Kyle Clifford. Anyway, Mr. Clifford decided that he didn't want to go to the court. He wasn't going to go to the court. He wasn't going to face people. Hopefully, he feels bloody ashamed of himself. I somehow doubt that he feels anything, really, because the man is nothing short of a monster, in my opinion.
Ready? I'm Detective Chief Inspector Nick Gardner from the Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire and Hertfordshire Major Crime Unit. I would firstly like to pay tribute to the Hunt family, John and Amy, and Hannah's partner Alex. They have suffered unimaginable loss as a result of Clifford's actions. They have shown dignity and strength of courage throughout the investigation and trial. And although the sentence will provide little or no consolation, at least we know that Clifford will never be released from prison. Today, Clifford received a whole life sentence, which is fitting for the appalling nature of his crimes. Clifford showed once again that he is a coward. Despite overwhelming forensic evidence, he pleaded not guilty to rape. He refused to attend court for his trial or to hear his punishment. Aged just 26, Clifford has many years ahead of him to consider the consequences of his crime and the senseless devastation he has brought to others. I would like to thank my investigation team for their tireless work and dedication in bringing this case to court.
I'm just going to stop there and say, what is it with the judicial system that this man didn't even have to turn up in court? Can somebody tell me, how is that allowed? I'm just flabbergasted.
Carl Clifford, on the 9th of July last year, you went to the home of your former girlfriend, Louise Hunt, and launched a murderous attack on her and her family. You first killed her mother, Carol, who even on that day showed you nothing but kindness in the moments before you attacked her. You raped and killed Louise, who had been as gentle as she could in ending her relationship with you after your arrogance and anger proved too much for her to stand. Then you murdered Hannah Hunt, who had done nothing to harm you save supporting her little sister. The evidence I have heard shows you to be a jealous man, soaked in self-pity, a man who holds women in utter contempt. This is no occasion to subject the family and friends of your victims to any delay or suspense. I therefore make clear at once that for each of these 3 murders, the sentence will be one of life imprisonment with a whole life order. That means a sentence from which you will never be released. Your brutal and cowardly attack had been planned over about 11 days. You conducted extensive research into the movements of Louise's father, John, into her mother's Facebook page, into buying a crossbow, a knife, and an air pistol, and even into the weather on the day of the attack. You bought rope, duct tape, petrol cans, the knife you used in the attack, and a crossbow. You wrote letters to your family dripping with self-pity. On the day of the attack, you first parked well away from the Hunt family home to check if Louise's father was there. Researching his work when you saw his car was indeed outside the house. You approached a second time with a bag of Louise's clothes and a thank you card to Carol and John Hunt, obviously part of a plan to trick Mrs. Hunt into letting you in the house. You first talked to Carol Hunt on the doorstep and persuaded her to admit you. She spoke kindly to you, but you then attacked her, stabbing her to death within moments of entering. You then left the house to collect the crossbow. Louise Hunt had been working in a building in the garden of the house. When she came in, you restrained her with duct tape round her wrists and ankles and gagged her. You kept her there alive for over 2.5 hours. She must have come to realize you'd already killed her mother. During that time, you raped her. Then you murdered her by shooting her with the crossbow as her sister Hannah was about to enter the house. Hannah Hunt was in a rush. She saw you and realized something was very wrong. You then shot her with the crossbow, causing an injury she could never hope to survive, but she remained alive long enough to see the unspeakable violence you had already inflicted on her mother and her sister. Hannah was able to call for help, but when the emergency services arrived, they could not save her. You had fled. You were arrested the next day, whereupon you made a last-minute attempt to kill yourself. I have heard John Hunt, Amy Hunt, and Alex Klein speak of their dreadful loss. They were difficult to listen to, given the devastation and heartbreak they recounted. They spoke of Carol, Louise, and Hannah as bringing joy, colour, and happiness into the lives of everyone they knew. They were funny, hard-working, and caring people. Each precious life, so full of potential, of future successes and celebrations, torn away by your appalling violence. The statements of John and Amy Hunt also demonstrated great courage and determination that your terrible crimes will not define them or stop them leading the lives that Carol, Louise, and Hannah Hunt would have wished for them. They showed a gentle heroism of which you, Carl Clifford, can only dream.
Interesting, concerning thing about this case is how it's been kept so silent. Nothing's been told. We haven't been told anything. But when I read some of the things I read today, I was absolutely appalled. The news is out there, the information is out there, but why did they keep it quiet from everybody when it was obviously a domestic situation, but it was something that people should know about, especially families who have teenage daughters. or any daughters that could quite easily find themselves in a toxic relationship with a maniac. It seems it's just it's just awful, guys. I'm not often stuck for words, but I am when I do crime. Sometimes I am stuck for words because it's just so appalling. It's just something that I just can't get my head around. So maybe I should stop doing true crime. I don't know, but I wanted to just update people that may be interested in what actually happened at the end of this case, this dreadful, painful, disgusting case. At this point, I just want to add, in case you didn't know, that the father is actually a famous uh, sports commentator. Not that it's got anything to do with this case, but I just thought I'd add that here. Do you know what's so shocking to me is that I know that area. I know that area very well. I used to live maybe 2 miles away. And it's just horrific to think that something so evil could happen in a place where I used to go regularly. I used to take my kids there. There was a nightclub I used to go there, not with the kids, but there was a nightclub there. And it's an affluent area. The people are friendly. It's just mind blowing to me. So I'm going to end it there, guys. If you want to see my previous video, as I say, it's on my other channel, Jan's Views, and it's actually a live stream. I've got a couple of people on the panel with me, and we're going over this. And so there may be some more details that come out about it. But for now, I really think that that's enough. I think this is it's an update, and it's at last justice has been served. There were pieces of information in the case that I didn't even know, because, as I said, there seemed to be like a radio silence. So I want you all to, if you possibly can, if you believe, to give a prayer up for the family. It's just absolutely horrendous. And I want to thank you so much for clicking on this video. And you just take care of yourselves out there, because trust me, it's a rotten old world. So until the next one, bye bye for now.